Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It is a beautiful evening. Look at that sunset glistening through the trees. Some of you like the movement of the camera, some of you don't, but guess what? I have a confession to make. For a while, this is all you get until I can get me a new tripod, because sometimes even the most prepared people make mistakes, and thankfully this was a very minor one. Well, obviously I'm standing down here by the creek, right? And I had made a video with my tripod right here like you normally see, and I left the tripod here. And that evening is when we had those big storms and we had flooding, and I was busy between the flooding and taking care of our own business and working on the fire department, things going on all at that time, that I completely forgot about that tripod. So it could be, and that water down here was about chest level. So I don't know where the tripod is, but it's not anywhere near around here. So anyways, I just thought I'd throw that out as, sometimes we just make a mistake. Big things going on, happening. They have been every day. Remember, it's like I've been telling you for weeks now. The closer we get to the election, the closer we get to the end of the year, the closer we get to the 2030 big shebang. It's just going to be more and more stuff going on. And that's exactly what's happening. Israel invaded, moved into Lebanon today with ground troops, tanks and ground troops. They had been saying that they were going to do that, and sure enough, they've gone ahead and done so. They say that this is just going to be a temporary incursion, that they're not planning on making deep, movements inside Lebanon. But what's interesting is they're also making some, much bigger threats to Iran. They've told Iran that if you do anything whatsoever to try to intervene, then we will take out your oil fields. And then Benjamin Netanyahu said today that in a little speech directed directly at Iranians, that Israel will come to free them, that Israel is going to free the Iranians from their regime. You could take that a lot of different ways, but the way things are going, it does very much sound like that there's a potential chance of a war between Iran and Israel also. Just the fact that what's happened with Hezbollah in Lebanon is significant, and I'm certainly not necessarily opposed to these actions. There's things I'm not necessarily in favor of also. But with everything that's going on, we also need to be thinking about our own safety and security in all these matters. Remember, don't forget, there's been tens of millions of illegals come into this country. We don't know who all they are, where they come from, where their allegiances necessarily lie. We know just from a report last week that half a million of them have come across that are known criminals. It was something like 16,000 of them had actual murder convictions that were allowed to come into the country. And we're seeing things with all this flooding there in the Carolinas. In fact, there was a local news just today in one of those areas in North Carolina that 8 illegals were arrested. They were caught looting in the area. There's also reports of tires being slashed from semi-trucks moving equipment and aid into that area. Not sure who's doing that, but that does seem suspicious. But the greater point is that as things happen overseas, as tensions rise there, as we get closer to the election, as more and more chaos happens here, the odds are greatly increasing that you, no matter where you're at, that you may be victim to some of this craziness. And so we have to really be stepping up. For those of you that think this is a joke, for those of you that aren't listening, you have no business watching this channel. I don't know why you're watching. I mean, if it's just for sheer entertainment, who knows? But the rest of you, which is the vast majority, you really need to be taking this serious. And I know I've been saying that for a while, but things are changing. This is a rapid moving game. I mean, the chessboard is moving pretty quickly. And we have to be ready for sudden changes, whether it's some type of natural disaster or shipping and supply chain disruptions because all the port workers, or at least on the East Coast, are striking, or maybe it's a retaliatory terrorist attack here in the United States, or multiple ones, because these groups see that the only reason that Israel is able to do this is because the United States is supporting Israel and sending billions of dollars and weapons and money over there. So they say, well, we'll go to the head, right? We'll cut the head off the snake and not just attack the body. And so we'll go to the United States and do stuff there. And we could have something even worse than what happened on 9/11. And I'm not indicating for one bit that I believe the official story of 9/11. I'm just talking about the overall intensity and chaos of it. These things could happen multiple places all over. We know that there are cells. There's no denying that. DHS has been warning for years now, and increasing that warning in the last 6 to 12 months, that there's all kinds of chatter of violence and terrorism and everything. And so we have to be prepared for this kind of stuff. You need to be armed. You need to, I would say, limit where you go. Be smart about it. If you don't have to go someplace, if you don't have to go to a place that's more crowded, if you don't have to go to a particular town that's more crowded, then don't. Don't go there. If you can avoid, the more people that you can avoid, the greater chance that you're going to have of avoiding conflict. Okay. When you're out and about, keep your head on a swivel. I tell you that all the time. Have your situational awareness at the highest level. Anything that looks suspicious, I'm not telling you to confront it. In fact, you should not confront it. But you need to have your alert, your eyes, get it right here, your eyes, your ears, your nose even, everything. Your just overall feeling of what's going on. It needs to be at the highest level. And it needs to stay that way for a while. Things are going to be crazy, I would say, for at least 6 months, maybe longer. And I'm not saying that in 6 to 12 months, it's all going to be over. I'm just saying that kind of heightened craziness, that curve of craziness, it's going to be continually going up for a while. And I don't know where it's going to end or how it's going to look, but I know that we have to be getting ready for that. Okay? We need to be, your stocks, your preparations, your food, your water, your medicine, you should already have that taken care of. And if you haven't, certainly be working on that. Right now, you should just be on guard. Depending on where you live, and those of you that live in the places, you know who you are. Maybe your wife, maybe she shouldn't be going out shopping by herself. Maybe you shouldn't be going out alone, as things start to increase. Because here's the thing. It's very possible that if or when these events that I speak of start to happen, we don't know how the American people will react to it. Have they been so numbed by everything that's happened since the pandemic that they don't react that much? Or is everyone such on edge because of everything that's been going on and the pharmaceuticals being thrown at everyone and all the psychological manipulation from the internet that everyone just goes into a frantic panic? I mean, that's possible too. So we don't know how the people will react to it, and that's always something that we have to be worried of and watchful of, because the people's reaction to an event is just as bad, if not worse sometimes, than the actual event that happens. So we need to be ready for that. And I'm telling you folks, be watchful. Just because, something in my mouth. Just because you live in a small town or a rural area does not mean that bad things aren't going to happen to you. It means there's probably a less likely chance, but it doesn't mean that its chance is zero. So you should always be ready, always on guard, and be paying attention, because I suspect whoever it is and whatever it is that might choose to do things, they don't care who it is. They just want to create chaos and terror. It may not even be hitting critical infrastructure. It just may be doing things that cause terror, a grocery store or something like that. And we need to be ready for it because it's happening and man, oh man, things are tensing up all over. Also, please continue to remember in your prayers all the victims of the flooding area. I'm going to leave a link down in the pinned comment. That link is a Give, Send, Go or GoFundMe. I can't remember now, but it's from Pinball Preparedness. You guys know who he is. It's that one of the other YouTube channels. I talked to him today, and this is a direct link to him. You know, he lives in the area of where this flooding happened. He did all right and didn't have any problems, but he's raising money so that he can directly go buy stuff and then take it directly to these people. So you're not having to go through some type of organization that takes their cut off the top or something like that. So if you're able to give to that, certainly do so. The last I heard, he'd raised something like $12,000, $11,000, which is a lot, but really a drop in the bucket from what really needs to be given for these people. So because you can't depend on the federal government. You know, I think they should change the names of these states. I would be all in favor of it, like North Ukraine, South Ukraine, you know, that kind of stuff. Because if they did, they might get just billions and billions of dollars. You'd never know. But anyways, also be watchful of, there's another disturbance in the Gulf moving up right now past Cuba or right around Cuba. It's iffy, but it could form another hurricane, and it could also follow the similar path of this last one. So if you're in the path of that or where this has already happened, definitely be paying attention to that. All right, folks, it's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.